do something else, and he has just been so incredibly supportive over this issue, and he's made his way here, so give it up for Peter. Thank you so much.
Greetings, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Predators Ball. What you are witnessing on the Auckland waterfront is theft in broad daylight. New Zealand has never experienced anything like it. Yes, the ports of Auckland are having a ball, and supported and sanctioned by the council vote this week, thanks to the casting vote of the Mayor. The Monty Python circus has been eclipsed by the people you voted for and put your trust in, the Brown Python Flying Circus. Now we have a compromise. Anyone who accepts or believes that is gullible and naive. When new foundations and concrete go into the seabed for a wharf extension, they will never come out. What is the point of one wharf? As Sail World editor Richard Gladwell noted yesterday in his e-magazine, I quote, "If they're going to opt for one wharf, they may as well have two. It makes no difference. If you believe the Mayor, the council seem to think they can allow the port company to be half pregnant." A couple of weeks ago, I was invited to a meeting with the port CEO. Others had also been invited, but were unable to at the last minute. So that meant I was the only person to have a special opportunity to talk with CEO Tony Gibson, Chairman Graham Hall, and Matt Ball, Head of Communications. I quickly add there were no raised voices, and it was civil, as Chris suggested should remain. They made their point about how Port of Auckland compares with other ports in New Zealand and Australia, and how profitable and efficient they are, and their reasons why the port needs to expand in the future. And as Michael touched on, this is a Trojan horse. There's much more expansion planned. It was clear to me they are doing what they think is best for the business, and the mandate they are working to is set by the Auckland Council on behalf of the owners, the Auckland ratepayers. So does Auckland want a council encouraging the port management to keep expanding in search of more profit, or recognise our magnificent harbour is not for sale ever and cannot be destroyed? After the chairman and the CEO had made their points, I was able to make mine, and hopefully on behalf of many of you who could, can't, or wouldn't. I started with the consent process first. For those of you there a few last weeks ago, that is a bee in my bonnet. Why a secret, furtive, non-notified consent? The Mayor talking council bureaucratic jargon and legal niceties is a turn-off. For the people who count, you, the voters, talk plain English. For concerned citizens, perception is reality. And the perception is the Port of Auckland and Council have something to hide. Never underestimate your audience. When they then talked about the future capacity plan in 2011, Tony Gibson said they listened and halved the plan. I replied and responded by saying that's the oldest trick in the book. Go big, say you've listened, and then get what you wanted. It was perfected by Muldoon and his stooges with the rape of the Clutha and the push to the Clyde Dam, you may remember, and the Port of Auckland has gone to a new level. I made the point, as a result of the Ferguson extension and reclamation, the harbour is already dangerous. It has become dangerous. The harbour tidal flows have changed, creating overfalls and whirlpools. There are now currents not there before. The Bledisloe extension will make the matter worse, compromise or not. We also discussed other matters beyond the Bledisloe extension that Timby's touched on. Traffic and those huge big rigs carrying one container each, holding up the rest of the traffic at 4 to 5 kilometres an hour, grinding up past Stanley Street and then Gridlock and Spaghetti Junction. The port generates 18% of traffic in the area. The council should consider that and the knock-on effect to traffic in central Auckland. Think 3, 5, 10 years from now. Already I can hear the line from the Academy Award-winning movie Network, "I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore." We discussed the thousands of containers that are billed as miniature skyscrapers as you come down Gladstone Road. You can't see the North Shore. They're empty. Why are they there? Why can't they be stored at Wiri? So why can't rail be used more effectively as it is in other ports? There are 140 trucking transport operators accredited to the ports of Auckland, with huge investment in those rigs that clog our streets and roads. Self-interest is the answer. I mentioned to the 3 people I had the opportunity and the special chance to talk with, I mentioned Northport, the best deep water port in New Zealand.
Yes.
The chairman told me it was cuckoo land to consider any further development in connection with Auckland, and after more negative comments about using Northport, I asked why does Ports of Auckland and Tauranga hold 25% shares each in Northport? I was quickly corrected. Port of Auckland has only 21%. But the perception is Tauranga and Auckland have substantial shareholding to keep Northport under control and from expanding. So this is bigger than trying to turn the lights on at Auckland Council, and particularly with the Mayor, lights on, no one home. The next council body election will be a sharp reminder from the Auckland ratepayers, never underestimate your audience. This Auckland issue is actually bigger than Auckland, and it needs central government involvement. Are you a New Zealander before you were an Aucklander?
Yes.
If so, then with Northport, Tauranga and Ports of Auckland, or even another relocation for the Auckland port, should be objectively analysed, and I'm talking not self-interest, objectively analysed, not easy with so much self-interest. If the government can find money in the magician's hat for 10 new bridges in Northland and still lose the by-election, then they should consider really helping the North with an effective rail link. And I agree with Ken. It does not have to be double-tracked all the way. That's all hair cream and no socks to put us off the scent again. Another thing, an objective analysis should look at why are the 2 inland ports at Wiri, one for Tauranga and one Ports of Auckland. It is obvious when there are vexed issues and so much self-interest, what is best for New Zealand and Auckland can only happen with central government becoming involved, as they did right here, you may remember, with this wonderful redevelopment at the viaduct. Do you know, the first on-water boat show here required 32, I say again, 32 consent applications, 10 with different entities in the Auckland Council, and that was before the Super City. It would have not happened without central government overseeing it, and that took 5 years on fast track. Central government needs to become involved, as Tembe suggested, with improved road and rail connections. So far, nothing else has worked, except what is happening now, the theft of the Auckland waterfront right in broad daylight. At our last get-together, I stopped counting at 12 after people came up to me individually, sharing their concerns and what they had done by either going to council or the Port Authority. Divide and conquer is easy with individuals. It is the sum of the parts of all of you and the sum total of individuals working that will be make this much more effective. Thank you, Michael, for doing this, and the people you've rallied, and I hope the word continues, because we really are looking, as I said, at the Predators Ball, what you are witnessing on the Auckland waterfront is theft in broad daylight. Thank you.